Hello, I am roaringbug and welcome to my Sims 4 speed build. Today I'm building that house you saw in that first picture. It is a Victorian picture of a house that I got off Pinterest. And I wanted to make a base game house because I wanted something that anybody can download. So if you are new to The Sims and you want a house that looks great, but you only have Basegame, I think this is a perfect house to use. I believe this house ends up becoming like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. And right now you're just seeing me just put down the basic shape of the house, and I'm basing it off the picture, so I have somewhat of an idea of what the shape is of the house. Because it's kind of hard to try and make something just from your imagination. Sometimes I do, but other times like you need a picture to base it on. So that is the basic bare bones of the house. It's all medium wall height, and I didn't use curved walls because they are so tricky and I didn't want to deal with trying to make the round walls work, because sometimes it's really hard to place objects inside them where you can put them down but then you can't grab them, and I didn't want to deal with that. So I know that roofing is pretty hard. Hopefully you'll get some kind of idea on how to do the roofing by watching this speed build. I didn't really manipulate the shapes too much. They're pretty basic when it comes to roof shapes. There are like some tricks to do more complicated stuff, but this is a pretty basic with shapes with the roofs. I mean, it's not so basic, it's not just like a square, but I think it's pretty okay for a Victorian house. Right now I'm just making the theme just black, white, and yellow. I thought yellow would be a nice color to use. I think the last house I made was green, so I thought, hey, I'll just make a cheerful little yellow house. So if you want to like paint an entire wall, you just hold the shift key, and that's how you can just paint a wall without painting each panel, because I know it's hard to use the tools when you don't really know how to do them. And I feel like I should have used the tutorial in The Sims when I first got it, but like everyone else, I just wanted to jump right in and experiment and do my own thing. So right now I'm putting wallpaper for the foundation, so I just made it look like the foundation for the patio is just this mesh. And I just use a simple white foundation for the house. And no, I found these yellow windows. I was trying to keep with the color yellow and try to find like everything I could that's yellow. So these windows have like a little yellow trim. And if you're wondering like how I'm finding all these base game items, I keep clicking in the search bar in build mode. I filtered just for base game items, so you can see it like on the corner. I just have the filters base game and yellow, so I can find all these items, because in my normal gameplay I have like different packs, and I also have a couple of CC items too. But again, I wanted something that anyone can download, so I'm filtering them out. So yeah, I wanted these balconies to be accessible, so I put doors there. And I realized that I needed to make this porch for the stairs a little bit wider, because it wouldn't let me put it there. Because right now believe it or not, I'm building without build mode on. I mean, move objects on. So it was telling me that it couldn't put it there. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll move it out. So then when I put the railing, you're gonna see the 2 pillars, the 2 like knobs for like the railing, which I thought, hey, yeah, that looks great. It makes it look more symmetrical. And I'm putting the railing on this area here, and on the roof, the thing about the roof is that you can't put a railing right next to a roof piece. So what I did is I tucked it in, then I use, like, I forgot what key it was. It's either shift or control in order to move just one side of the eaves. Because an extended eave can be next to a railing, but it can't be next to a full-on roof piece, which is kind of sad. Put these stairs down and I lost those 2 windows, but I didn't care. I was like, I don't need them. And oh my god, this floor plan was kind of tricky. Because I was like, how are they going to get to all those rooms? I don't have a hallway. And this is when I put move objects on, because I wanted to make this roof piece work without changing the windows. So I made this enclosed porch in the back because I wanted a greenhouse space, but I didn't want to build a separate greenhouse. So I just made an enclosed porch, and I wanted to cover everything. It's a little annoying that there is not a 1 tile of that 2 tile window, so I did the best I could with just that all open 1 tile floor to floor window. And I put down this little step area so that you can get in and out into the backyard through that enclosed porch. I end up moving it because I realized that is in an awkward space. So I was thinking like, oh, they should go into the backyard with a door. So I put the door there and I lined it up with the windows. And then I was like, the stairs to the backyard should line up with that as well. So I ended up moving it over just so that the walking flow is all like feng shui and there's no obstruction. And I put this chimney and I made it black because frankly I didn't really know what kind of brick to use, and all the good bricks are not Basegame, so I was like, yeah, we'll just make it black. And I put the little like fancy windows on the top. They don't really do anything, they're just decorative, and I thought the front looked a little plain, so I put these corbels in the front, which is the name of the little pokey bits. So I put these little pokey bits, these corbels, on under all of these little extended eaves on the top because I thought the house looked a little too plain. Normally I wouldn't put this kind of decoration, but it's Victorian and it's all about the fancy pants. So I tried to make it look fancy and pretty. So I decided, yeah, we will put corbels. So I just wanted all of them to be in the right placement. And this is when I deleted the second floor windows and replaced it with these round windows, because there's already 1 round window on the first floor next to the front door, and I decided I should carry that over to the second floor. So now I'm putting down my favorite arches. I like this arch because it's Basegame, a short wall height, and it's only 50 simoleons, and it's my go-to one. And I'm just putting down these chandeliers and these little like rounded lights because I feel like they're the most realistic. And I color the inside of the chimney space just because when I do gameplay, I feel kind of annoyed when I see that it's just drywall. So I'm like, yeah, I can afford the few extra simoleons just to color the inside of the chimney. And I made a very formal living room. I made it, like I said, I just kept with the colors white, black, and yellow. And I just made it a running theme in this house. So I used the complete set for this couch set. And I don't think I've ever used a house with all of the chairs that come in a set before. But this is a first. And I just kept it pretty simple. I put a TV on top of the mantle of the fireplace. I thought about putting a chicken, but instead I just left the Princess Cordelia bust. And I just put these Basegame paintings because they look like, again, very formal. And I put 3 plants because I figured 3 is better than 2. And I put these curtains down. Again, I don't think I've ever used those curtains before. So this kitchen is a really weird shape. And I decided to wrap the counters around the bathroom. It's weird, but you know, it's kind of realistic because I think there are a lot of really strange shaped kitchens around bathrooms. It's just all about the plumbing. And I put all of these cabinets around this bathroom. I wouldn't worry about it because when you play with half walls, they drop out of view. I mean, in-game, I think they look pretty cool. I put a tiny little dining area here just because I didn't want to block the walkway. And there's not too much to say about this bathroom. I was just playing around trying to make sure I can fit everything right. And I put a little bit of decoration, which is something I don't normally do. And I decided to make this room into a skill building room for gameplay. If this house was just for like show and not gameplay, I guess this could have been the formal dining room. But I don't really think this house needs a formal dining room. I mean, realistically, I think I have most of my meals in front of my TV anyway. So I was like, yeah, they don't really need it. Oh, and don't mind that floating door in the second landing. I just had that door there just so that I could have the door I used for the first floor. I just wanted them to all match. So I just had this randomly floating door there. And I was trying really hard to try and get this bedroom space to fit. And I was like, oh my God, it's so tight. And then I realized you can't get into that bedroom with that bathroom in the way. So then I had to change the shape of this hall. So I moved those windows aside just so I can make a bigger room there. And then I decided to make this bathroom into just a really long bathroom. And then I had that little space there. And that little space is going to be a closet. If you have like, if you have get together, you can put one of those closets that fits in the wall. But because it's Basegame, I just made a closet and I used this glass pane and I alt placed these shoes closer to the wall. Everything is white just because I needed something on the walls. But later on, it'll pick up some yellow. I just needed something to get an idea of what I needed to put in these bedrooms. And again, I'm making a very basic bathroom in the middle. Just because I think each floor deserves at least one bathroom. And thank God for these slots. Oh my God, these slots are such a lifesaver. I was like, I normally would not even bother to put soap on the sink, but I was like, oh, there's a new slot. It makes it so easy. Oh, and I alt placed this mirror into this dresser, so it looks like a fancy vanity. And how did I do that? I use Control and the 9 key to raise the mirror up so I can place it inside the dresser. I did some gameplay where I tried to test it. Your Sims can't access that mirror, but you know, they can still change their clothes with the dresser. When I do gameplay, I don't even use the dresser. I just use, I open up the control for the cheats and I just do cast full edit mode just so I can change everything about my Sim and not just their clothes. Because when you use the dresser, all you do is just change their outfit. But if you do the cast cheat, you can like change their body weight and their appearance. You can basically change anything you want with them. So since I'm not playing in this house, I decided to cover all my bases. So this house can basically house a sim in any life stage. So you can have an infant here, you can have a toddler here, you can have a child here, you can have a teenager here, you can have an adult here. I mean, I have basically a bedroom for every age group in this house because I wanted to make this a very accessible family home. And I didn't really know what to do with this corner, and I didn't want to turn it into a bathroom, so I turned it into a tiny sitting area. I don't know, I guess if you want, you could put like an easel there. And I just put a whole bunch of planters here so that your Sims can grow plants, because plants are one of the best ways to earn money in The Sims. And I was like, okay, I just want the lights to make sense so that they line up with that center crossing in the skylight. I don't know what I'm saying, but hopefully it'll make sense when you look at it. And I put all of these window boxes in yellow, and I found this awning and I decided to put it in this build. So I used 3 of them, which I think is rare because I hardly ever use 1 of them, but I used 3 of them in this build. And I wanted to use a little white fence. And all the landscaping now is just debug items. So they're all like the window dressing plants and stuff that you see in the world. So I just went to town just putting all of these debug plants everywhere just to make everything look lush and beautiful and pretty. I mean, I'm kind of getting glitchy with the foundation. And if you wanted to get around it, I could have just put the foundation back to ground level and then put all the plants, but I felt kind of lazy, so I just left the foundation. And I just, like I said, I just put all these little bushes and flowers everywhere. And I put my favorite tree in the backyard. And I put this monkey bar and a barbecue and a seating area in the back. If you want, you could probably put a swimming pool in the backyard, but I didn't put one in this yard because I just felt like it wasn't really the vibe of this house. And I put trash cans, and I should put a mailbox down because those are like the 2 things I normally forget. Oh, and I'm putting down terrain paint. So I'm just doing my light dusting of dirt everywhere. And oh, and I really like these stone terrain paint because it makes it look like there's like some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of like paving there when there isn't. And it doesn't cost anything in game, so that's good. And I'm just making sure I'm getting all the corners and randomly putting plants everywhere. Oh, and I found this little debug arch. And I decided to use it because I was like, yeah, that looks really cute. I would really like it if they had that with plants on it, but you know, it's fine there. And I think the last thing I do is just, I'll place this window on that little porch area. Yes. So I'm into my screenshots. It's just viewing all around, and I think just the floor shots. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, or leave me a comment. And thank you for watching. Bye.